Good morning and welcome to another episode of the Breakroom Banter. It's a hairstylist adjacent podcast where each week two friends who happen to be hairstylists break down our weeks in the break room. I'm your host, Hunter Walden.
Anna Schrader, and today is truly a banter episode where we're just going to catch up because Hunter and I haven't seen each other for 2 weeks. The last episode that was recorded was a double 2 weeks ago. So I have some questions for Hunter.
But as you guys know, we like to start every episode off by building a beautiful bouquet of roses. And we all know you can't have a bouquet of roses without a couple thorns. So, Anna, we haven't spoken in 2 weeks. Surely you have a fantastic rose and thorn.
Yes. Okay. So this week has been a lot of work because it's been catching up after vacation.
Right.
And I had a lot of cancellations, so that I guess that could be a thorn. But then, it was so crazy. Like, I just have to give you the scenario. 2 no-shows right in a row. First
Oh my
one,
God.
haircuts. The first one, I was like shocked because she never no-shows me. She's this sweet older lady, like very put together always. Like, she's the kind of person that brings in like bakery for all of the stylists, and just
Oh.
I love her so much. So I called her and I was genuinely worried about her. And then
Did she answer?
no, she did not answer. So I was worried. And then the second no-show, I called her to get her in earlier since I had space. And she was like, I'm not in Ironwood right now. I was like, oh, okay, well, we'll just keep you. I was like, well, maybe she's in the next town over. I'm like, that's all right. You just come in at the normal time that we had, you had scheduled for. And she's like, no, I'm not coming in. She was like very snotty about it. So I was like, okay, well, I didn't say thanks for letting me know because she didn't, but I was just like, all right, we'll just cancel that appointment then. And then I was like, please never put her on my schedule again. She was
Yeah, put a note on her file.
Yes. And then actually there was a third, or no, I think I finished early with my color. So I called my first client, the sweet one, and just to see like if she could get in again that day. And she answered and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." She felt horrible. She apologized so many times. And I was like, "It's okay. I can get you in. I can get." She's like, "Oh, thank you, honey. Thank you." She comes in and she's like, "When I come in, you'll see why I missed it." A dog had bitten her face. Yeah. Yep. And it had happened the day before, but she's like, "I'm so sorry. It's thrown me off all week." I was like, "Oh my gosh."
I would have been like, you are
There
okay. It is fine.
That's like she was doing okay, thankfully, but like she had stitches on her face and I felt so bad. She's like, so on one hand, you have this sweet woman who is apologizing for missing her appointment because a dog bit her face, and she's still like profusely like apologizing and feels horrible. And then on the other hand, you have this woman who's like all snotty about it and thinks I should read her mind that she's not in Ironwood.
Well, and what
Contrast.
frustrates me about that is like she's probably one of those people that are like, oh, it's just a haircut,
Yeah, she is a new client.
you
She's
know?
she's a new client and she doesn't understand like how far we book out, I guess. But
Maybe
whatever.
she needs to listen to the podcast a little bit and be
Yeah.
like, we're calling you out, Amanda. Wouldn't that be something if that was her actual name? And she
Oh
was
no.
like, what?
It's not her name, don't worry. But we won't use this. We won't call people out on this.
No. But like for real,
It's
people that don't show up and don't really it seems like they don't care. To me, it's just they don't understand that it's not just a haircut. Like, that's my light bill.
yes.
You know
So
what? Like, I'm not doing this for fun. I mean, I do it because I love it, but at the same time, like, it's not just a haircut.
yeah. So I guess the point of that story is although both of them like the point is there's a difference. If you no show because you have a reason or because you're sweet and apologetic, And that's fine. We're not gonna be angry. Like, I was not angry at my first one. Like I said, I was worried. But if you no show and you don't apologize and you just are entitled, no, that does not fly. And I know everyone who's listening to this, whether you be hairstylist or client or friend, none of you would be the second. So that was that. Some roses. Beautiful weather, kind of. It's been like snowstorm and then 50s and then
Well,
snowstorm.
I saw on your Snapchat story that it looked like the snow was melting, or at least you found that flamethrower.
That was the joke this week. I was like, we had gotten like 8 inches of snow and I had to walk to work. I didn't have to, but I'm just a martyr like that.
Right.
And I am like sending Hunter all of these Snapchats while he's on vacation of me grumbling walking through the snow, and he's just like, get a flamethrower, get a flamethrower.
Well, and you know what? You may have been dealing with all of that snow, but while I was in North Carolina, I was dealing with so much pollen. Oh
Oh,
my gosh. Sam and I both were just like all weekend. RIP headphone users.
oh.
I'm glad you got to hear my pollen snot.
Yeah. Oh, but it's been a good couple weeks. I got a lot of projects done. Finished my painting project I told you guys about. I love it. And I have Airbnb guests coming today. So I will be cleaning after this episode, but I'm really happy. When you have Airbnb guests or anyone, it just motivates you to get projects done. So got that painting done and I am in love.
And I love the smell of fresh paint.
Do you?
Yes. Like if I were your guest and I walked in, because that's right next to the front door, right?
Yeah.
If I walked into your front door and it smelled like fresh paint, I'd be like, she knows what's up. She has made this fresh for me. I
I
would be
don't.
so impressed.
Sometimes it smells like cat pee to me. I don't know why.
Well, you have a cat.
I
That just
know.
happens sometimes.
Yeah, but I think once when I was painting the living room, I moved the couch and everything, and out of protest, Pounce peed. So I
You
think the
can't
two are,
find it.
yeah, the two are now like ingrained in my olfactory system together, cat pee and fresh paint. I've been traumatized.
Oh,
Okay,
oh
enough about
no.
me though. I want to hear your roses and thorns.
My roses and thorns. So my thorn is gonna be that I'm so flippin' tired right now. I got in at 2 a.m.
Oh,
but that comes with a super rose. I taught my first class this weekend since the panorama, and um it went really really well. I was nervous prepping for it because I was like, I felt like, oh my god, I just forgot all of this stuff,
mm-hmm.
all of the technical information that we know it and we do it, we follow the rules, but behind the chair, you kind of make them work for you.
Mm-hmm.
So making sure that I was, saying all the right things and having that one voice of the company again, really invigorated me. And you know what? It was even more of a rose because while I was studying and making sure I knew all of the things, it helped me in the salon sell like a record week in product.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so super rose. A bunch of things came out of one really great thing.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Good job.
So
That's
I've been on the road the last 2 weeks.
yes, and that's actually what I'm excited to talk more about. Um,
Yes.
how was your vacay?
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. it was kind of it wasn't like a vacay. I kind of just crashed Sam's weekend. So we ended up doing we went to her niece's birthday party at this hibachi restaurant, which I love hibachi and I had not been in so long, but it was a lot of fun. I got to meet some of her family, her mama,
Oh,
and
did you have any April Fool's jokes played on you?
I did. And my mom got me so good.
What was it?
So my mom calls me and she was like, "What are you doing?" And I told her I was in North Carolina at the time. And she said, "Well, we need to go on vacation." And I was like, "Well, yeah, I know. I've been trying to plan that with you for a while now."
Hold on.
And
There is a dog just wandering in my yard.
is it a
It's
cute
like
dog? You should let it in. Oh, that's a big dog.
I've seen this dog. He just wanders around the neighborhood and he makes me nervous. But he has like his owner is like a couple streets over. He just better not take a poop in my yard. That's all I'm saying. He's doing the poop walk. He's waddling around looking for some grass.
Oh no. You
I'm
have a
watching.
dead spot.
Okay, anyways, go on. I'm sorry. I was getting majorly distracted and I just had to tell you. He's guarding my house. So cute.
How sweet. He's gonna guard it and make sure no other dogs poop in your yard. By pooping in your yard.
My yard to poop.
But yeah, so she called me and she was like, "We need to go on vacation." And I was like, "Yeah, of course. We've been trying." And she was like, "Well, I'm gonna pay my car off." And I was like, "Oh, that's awesome. How?" And she said, "Well, I just won the lottery." And I think you have to know my mom to know like why I fell for it, because my mom is very mellow to, like, she sounds like me, even though I have like inflection in my voice and I get excited and you can kind of tell that I'm excited.
Uh-huh.
My voice is just really mellow tone. And
Yeah.
I've become super aware of that, like through
You
this podcast and
the
editing my voice.
the
And my
perfect
mom is
April Fooler.
right. My mom is the same way. So she was like, "I won the lottery." And I was like, "Ah, that's so exciting." Yeah, come to find out she did not win the lottery.
What a disappointment.
What about you? Did you plan any amazing April Fool's jokes? Because I know that's your holiday.
I love April Fool's Day. And sadly, this year I did not. Oh, I had some plans. I had a lot of plans in my mind that I will not share on this because I do plan on using them in the future. So I don't want to give them away. But I was pretty what day was April Fool's? I feel like it was
I
on
think
a
it was
day.
like a Friday or a Saturday. So you're probably busy at
Okay.
work.
Yeah, I was at work and it was one of the days that I was working alone. My coworker, no, I was the only one in the salon with my clients. And I felt like my clients, oh, and I had a dentist appointment. So I had to push all my clients down. So it was just one of those days that I was like really busy, but I did have like some plans that it wasn't the day to do it, but I did get pranked actually by our distributor. He posted on we have like a Facebook page for
Uh-huh.
all, and our distributor, he's like I don't know, he's probably I'm not even gonna guess his age. Anyways, he posted this picture of this like like black box dye hair and then like this perfect like level 10 white platinum blonde, and under it was like, try this new product, you'll go from black box dye to platinum in 10 minutes. And I was like, oh, here we go again. I cannot believe he's falling for this. I was like, I thought he knew better than that. Like there's no product in the world that will help you. And
There is no way, no how.
I know. And I was like, I I was like, I was actually kind of disappointed. I'm like, no way. Come on. Come on, Eric. You know this. You know that there's no product that's gonna do this. Now it's, and then I'm like continue to scrolling and he's like, April Fools, I got you. And I was like, oh, thank God it was a joke.
I did read a couple of Facebook posts of like my friends saying that they were pregnant and stuff like
Oh,
that, but
bad. I've heard, have you seen the counter memes to that? That's like, be sensitive about that because like all the women who actually are struggling with fertility.
Yeah. You have to be sensitive of everything,
I know, it's true.
especially on the internet where everyone can see it.
Yes, yes. But yeah, April Fools is kind of a bust this year for me, but
That
it gives
sucks.
me, well, no, it just gives me another year to build up for ammo.
Next year's pranks are gonna be it.
Yes. I should start looking ahead right now. But good. Okay, so tell me more about, and I think that it would be cool to, I've had people come to me and ask, what is it like to be an educator, and ask me questions, and the ball is just beginning to roll with me. And then, as you like to say, the Panda Express happened. So I haven't taught too many classes, and I'm super excited to get back into the game. But how is it for you to be back in the saddle of teaching classes?
It felt so good. It felt natural again, which I was worried that it wasn't going to feel natural. I thought, I was going to have to kind of retrain myself.
Mm-hmm.
This particular class, it was kind of a last minute thing. It got scheduled, I think, 2 weeks ago, and it was in the middle of nowhere. And so let me tell you, when you type in the address and you see where it is, you're like, oh, okay, it's like right smack dab in the middle of America. And when you drive there, there's nothing, there was nothing on the road. Like getting gas, if you saw a gas station, you should probably stop because you're not going to see another one for another 100 miles kind
Oh
of
my,
thing. And then it was in a town it was so small of a town that the closest hotel was an hour away.
oh wow.
Yeah, which is like, it's fine. I'm not complaining. Do not think that I am complaining. I'm just telling you what it was. Um, but so I get up and I drive to the class that morning, and when I get there, I thought that this hair salon was in a tire shop because the
Oh,
sign for the salon is on the tire shop's sign. And I knew just from talking to the salon owner that her husband and her own that tire shop. So I was
okay.
like, okay, maybe she has like a little studio in the back. Um,
Did you go into the tire shop?
no, I did not. Upon further inspection, I assumed that it was the building next to the tire shop, and I was correct. But oh my God, if you look at my Instagram story, I posted it. I think Kayla reposted it on our Breakroom Banter
Yeah.
Instagram. That salon was the opposite of a tire shop. Let me tell you, it
Or
was stunning.
mm-hmm.
Stunning.
Yeah, it was really, really pretty. Like actually watched it this morning. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's, I think, 2 hair salons in the entire town.
Okay.
So, that girl in there is slanging some hair. She
Yeah.
is busy, I am sure. But she brought in everything Kuhn, like everything that Kuhn offers was in that salon. And it was a dream come true for an educator because I had everything right there in front of me to, if I was talking about it, I picked it up and I could show it to her because she had it.
And they've been using the product because I remember you saying they bought the product in the midst of
Of the
everything.
pandemic. So they actually, I was incorrect about that. So they started talking about buying in during the pandemic, but this salon isn't even open yet.
Oh, okay.
So she's been playing with it like a tube at a time here and there, maybe on herself or like her parents or something like that. But she's not used everything until now.
Okay.
So
So you
it,
came in just in time.
yeah. So it truly was like she wanted every piece of information about everything. They asked a ton of questions, which was great.
What were some, that was another question I was going to ask you was, did you get some good questions and what were some of them?
So they were switching from other brands. So what I did was I found out what brands they were switching from.
What are they switching from?
There was one of the girls was switching from Aveda, but she also was super familiar with Redken and Matrix.
Okay.
And the other one was switching from Matrix and Kevin Murphy.
Okay.
So she was using Matrix and Kevin Murphy. So what I did was I went online and found every piece of information I could find about Matrix, Kevin Murphy, and Aveda,
Mm-hmm.
and also Redken. I knew a little bit because I had used Redken before. Like I was trained up on Redken in the beginning. So I knew enough about Redken, but I really wanted to learn more just to make sure I knew all the answers to their questions.
Yeah.
And I made a spreadsheet essentially of the brands that they were using, the products that they were using, and what the compromise was with Kuhn. Not that it was a compromise, but that's not the right word. The comparable product in Kuhn.
Okay. So like if you're using a 5N in Matrix, use a 6.
Well, if
in.
you're using a 5N in Matrix, you would actually use like a 6.03.
Yeah.
Because Matrix base, from what I found out, is a golden red.
Very warm. Very,
Yeah.
very, very warm.
So as to where our base is a brown violet, theirs is a golden red. Similar to like So Pure, how So Pure is a golden base. But Matrix has red, which I have seen a bunch of people use red to like make white hair. Did you see that trend where people were using like 6R in their toner formulas and it was making like a beautiful white blonde?
Yeah, like a drop of it, just like a little bit.
Yeah. So that's
like
kind of how I feel about it, I guess. That's what
I
their idea is.
put a little bit of red in my toners.
I don't. I'll add soft pink.
Yeah, same thing. I'll
Yeah.
not red, I'll add like a red tone, like a little bit of soft pink or pearl, something so it doesn't get too mousy.
Yep.
But okay, cool. So you did your research and interesting, like I feel like it would be really easy to switch from Matrix over. Okay, I don't want to be bashing color lines right now because I use
right,
Matrix.
and that's not what we're doing.
I used to use Matrix and
I've used Matrix too. We both worked at a Regis salon, right?
Yes. So I would say all of my colors were warm, and then moving into it, like the era of where everyone wants natural, cool colors, it was like a breath of fresh air to have a cool based color line.
Do you remember, since you used to use Redken, do you remember like the SPA, SPV toners?
Yes.
Those used to be my jam.
Yes. And we actually, when we switched to Kuhn, we did keep some of the, we kept some of the Redken around just because we're like, we love this. And we had like a whole row of toners that we still held on to. And now we just pretty much use our semi color. But
Right.
I'm shocked, how was the attitude amongst the Aveda and the Kevin Murphy?
Honestly, they had amazing attitudes. They both were so ready to just like, they were so open. They weren't, if they had questions, it was more like, okay, this is what I'm using in Aveda. This is what it does. I'm not finding anything with Kuhn that is similar to that. And the example that she gave me was Aveda has an intense base that you can add to things to make your colors more intense. And Kuhn doesn't have anything that intensifies the color per se, unless you, I mean, worth like, unless you have a red booster for a red
Yeah,
color.
or the mixed colors.
Right. But that's not, I said that, but that's not the same as the intense booster. So what we came up with was that she normally uses it for reds, and the Red Infinity series is what she would be, is what would be the answer to that.
Yeah. Okay, so it's nice to give people answers.
Yeah. And they were both, there was only two girls in the class, and the DSC, which for people that don't know what a DSC is, it's a district sales consultant. So they are outside sales people that go into salons, some once a month, some twice a month, and tell them about the products that are available, which in towns like this one, where the salon is so small and the town is so small, and there's not a store around for people to go around and browse, the district sales consultants are really the ticket to learning about the new products.
Yeah, that's like Ironwood, only we don't have a DSC
You
or a
don't
store.
you don't have a sales consultant?
We have Eric. Yeah, we do. We have, but
Oh,
he,
okay. I thought you were talking about him.
yes, but he also is over the entire UP, and he
Oh,
lives like 3 hours away, so it's hard for him to make it over.
that's understandable, but also at the same time a little frustrating, I'm sure.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, it's completely understandable, and also like if you have anything going on in your life and in the midst of a pandemic and snowstorms and everything else, makes it very hard. But yeah, so we do a lot of our own research, and that's one reason I love Kuhn, is because they do such a good job of educating their salons.
I agree. And I think that I love the fact that Kuhn has the KLC program, the
Yeah,
Kuhn Loyalty Club program, because they reward the stylists that are working their butts off behind the chair for the work that they're doing. Like,
yes.
what other color line do you know, or product line, that would get a pay at full expenses for a trip out of the country
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
everyone that sells
Cool.
a certain amount of their product? Like, that's insane to me.
It's just, you need to be in a bigger salon with a lot of people, like a lot of stylists. Otherwise, it's almost impossible to make those cuts. So if you have like a small salon, we're at like, they have different levels. All of you guys who are listening, KLC is basically like what he just described. You use a product, you buy a product, and then they reward you for it. So if
Right.
you have,
So every dollar spent is a point. Is that
Mhm.
is that what
I,
it is? One
I,
point per
I
dollar.
think so. And then if you have a salon with like over 6 or 7 stylists who are all using the color, then your orders are a lot bigger. And then you get to go on, if that's the salon that you're in, which is also incentive for owners, like salon owners, to grow and have lots of stylists. And
Well,
then
so since this is a banter episode and we're talking about orders and the differences, do you do your salon order yourself since you're the
I do.
manager?
Yeah.
Okay, so what does your weekly order look like? And we'll kind of talk about what yours looks like versus what ours looks like.
Well, I usually go like bi-weekly, and we just, what we do is we have like a little erase board in the back, and if you use a color that is the last tube, or if it's a really popular tube like level 6, if it's like the second to last tube, because we always have a couple, like 2 or 3 tubes of the really popular colors,
Right.
like the bread and butter colors. If you use the last tube, you have to write it on the wall, and then I will place the order, and we try and have like a pretty big stock because it takes a while for color to get to us. So I don't make weekly orders. It's usually bi-weekly or a little bit more sometimes.
And how
And
much
so
are your bi-weekly orders typically?
probably 5,000, two to 5,000.
Okay. So
totally depends. It totally depends because sometimes I'll do like all of our products with that, and then it becomes more.
Yeah. Well, and I
But
mean, like, there's some days that in your salon you're the only one working, right?
yeah.
So that's understandable. So we order weekly,
Mm-hmm.
and our weekly orders are anywhere from 8 to 10,000.
That's a lot. How many stylists do you have in your salon again?
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Okay. Yeah. So there's two of us that are working full time, and then one part timer, and then the fourth is like maybe 10 hours a week, maybe.
Oh, so like one day
Oh,
a week.
yes. So, I mean, there's a big difference between a salon like mine and Hunter's. So, Hunter's salon, they probably are racking up those KLC points. And then there's definitely perks to working in a big salon like that because, yeah, you get all those KLC points. But we still get them, and we usually use them towards products and inventory, but not enough to go see the factory in Amsterdam.
Amsterdam. Yeah, so we have 4 tickets to Amsterdam. We chose to change that into a personalized class at the academy so that everyone from the salon could go and not just 4 people.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. That's awesome. That's another perk if you are in a big salon is you get free education.
Yes. And
But
education is expensive, honey.
yes.
There's
So
this
like
class that I
for
want to take so badly, and it is $2,000.
yeah. Yeah. So whenever I talk to cosmetology students, I'm like, soak it all in. This is the cheapest education will ever be in this industry. Because once you get out of hair school, education like quadruples in price.
Well, and people don't realize that, and they don't realize that like being an assistant or an associate at a salon, that free education that you get is going to be so invaluable. Like the free education, listen any chance you get.
Yes.
Literally just turn your ears on and turn your mouth off sometimes and listen.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Yeah.
is, you will learn so much when you, and this is honestly advice from me to me from like the last 5 years, is something that I've learned is you learn so much when you stop freaking talking and just listen.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Truth. That applies to so much.
Well, and that applies so much to me.
Quick to listen and slow to speak. It's a good reminder
Yes.
one. Um, Great. Yeah, education is so important. And that's why I love, even though I haven't been teaching classes, I just love the community of CUNE because you have like all of these great connections, these really amazing award-winning artists who are pouring into us, then I can pour into those around me. So even though like it's education is not accessible for all the girls in my salon because they
Right.
can't afford $2,000 and we're not making orders big enough to like go. At least hopefully I can glean some of that and then give it back. So,
Yeah, you're a little star in your community.
oh, I wouldn't go that far, but
Oh, I would go that far because we have quite a bit of engagement on our Instagram account, and most of it comes from Ironwood, Michigan.
it's because our community is amazing and
And they
there's
love you
support.
because Anna
And
Schroeder is a star in Ironwood, Michigan, honey. She
oh
is the
gosh,
moment. They live for you, and I love
oh
it.
gosh, no, but either way, it's mutual. Seriously, it's mutual. When you come visit, you're gonna realize how amazing this community is, and everyone loves everyone. And there's just like a really great community of support, I would say, community of like genuine, wonderful support. So I can't wait for you to come visit and meet all of these people who equally support you. They're like, oh my gosh, tell me when Hunter's coming. We need to go get I don't know what we're gonna do, but I can tell you I
We'll
have a
go
whole
up to the hill and watch live music.
yeah. Yes.
Is that open during the summer? Like, do they change it into something different in the summer when there's no snow?
Actually, they did start doing it. It's called Mountaintop, and it's like a music festival on top of the hill. And the first one was when I was gone, and that is usually like the spring one. And then there's last
Wait,
year,
during all that snow?
yes. And then last year there was one when there was no snow. I don't remember when it was, but it was all grass and it was warm, and we brought like blankets out, and they had like bands playing, and they were all really good, and it was so fun. So that would actually be a really fun event. And you just sit outside and on top of the ski hill, and it's really fun, chill vibes. But I have a whole itinerary planned for us, Hunter. So if that doesn't happen, we have lots of other things to do.
Oh my gosh, I have I have an entire itinerary for when you come into town, because I found these places in this small town where I wouldn't say Bradley's from there because he's from Kentucky, but it's where he grew up, like as a teenager type deal. And one of them is called Doc's Doc's Architectural Restoration, I believe is the
Ooh.
name of it. But oh my God, Anna, there are so many light fixtures, like chandeliers, entire bars. So what these people do is they have contracts with all of these demolition companies, right? And
Uh-huh.
anytime a building of significance is torn down, they most of the time they tear down the building with all of that valuable stuff in it. Did you know
Yeah,
that?
I actually was just learning about that. And
Okay,
how sad.
right. So this company goes into those buildings before they demo them. Like they have these contracts with the demo companies that are like, you can come in and do this, and they deconstruct the building and take out all of the things that have value, like stained glass.
Oh my gosh.
You know how you go into some of those like old bars and they've got the bar that has the huge mirror on it that's just really ornate and ginormous.
Mm-hmm.
They had one of those on sale for $45,000, which I know that's a lot of money. But and like if you think about it, that's probably like a $500,000 piece of,
Setup.
yeah, like for someone that's opening a bar, 45 grand for something that's that beautiful and antique.
It would be a statement. I also
Right.
I also heard like a way to decrease rude clientele is put a mirror behind the bar. So because
So that
people
they
don't
can see
talk,
themselves being rude.
yes, people don't like talking to themselves rudely, so they won't talk to their bartender rude. I was like,
Interesting. I
oh,
wonder if
interesting.
that's, yeah.
I do. I wonder if that's legit, but
Well, yeah. So that is one of the places that I found. And the other one is called the Antique Barn.
oh, I love antiques.
And both of these places are just thousands of square feet of antiques and just unique pieces that I know you would love. Like you would go home with so many like light switch covers or
So now I'm gonna have to drive down there because it sounds like I'm gonna have to like need a
fly
vehicle.
back with heavy pieces. Well, here's the thing. I don't think that place, the Doc's Antique or Architectural, the name, I don't remember the name of the store, but it's a long name. But Doc's, um, they do a lot of shipping. Like they do a lot of outside sales and online sales. So I'm sure if you bought something there, you could have it shipped back to Ironwood.
Huh. Well, that's
That would be a miserable drive. You would have to take like 3 weeks off of work just to recover.
right. Oh gosh.
Actually, let me look. I have a client that's coming to see you, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, she kind of lives really far away from you, but it's closer than Nashville.
Wow.
So
What does she have an appointment with me?
I don't think so. She just got her hair done. Um, but she lives in, oh, it's a really funky name. And if you look at a map, you are over here and she's at like the very top of the mitt.
Houghton?
No, it's a really funky name. And there's also another state that has the same city name. And I think it's in Wisconsin is the other place that has this name.
Iron Mountain, Iron River.
No, it's not that close. It's even further. So think
Um,
across the water.
is she in Michigan?
She's in Michigan, but
Is
like,
she in the Upper Peninsula or the Upper Northern Michigan?
so if you're looking at my hand, she is right here.
Traverse City?
No, it's like Sheboygan or something like that. Like it's funky.
Petoskey?
But what?
Petoskey?
No.
Well, it sounds like she's in Upper Michigan, not the Upper Peninsula.
Yeah, it's like a 5-hour drive.
Yeah, she would be going all the way across the UP. I would love to do her hair.
And well, I mean, she was driving. She said that she was going to drive to Nashville every 6 weeks. Yeah,
She's
and it's like a 17-hour drive. And she has family there, but I was like, okay, but this is only 5 hours away from you.
Oh, yeah, I would love to do her hair. She needs to book now though, because I'm like my June and July are almost completely booked.
I have her phone number in my phone, so I can text her and tell her. But what was I looking up on my phone before that?
The drive from Ironwood to
Right. The drive from Ironwood.
I have so many friends who go to Nashville for their bachelorette parties or like
Oh my
so
God.
many.
Everybody comes here for their bachelorette parties.
It looks fun. Like I've seen those pedal bikes and like
And everyone from here hates the pedal bikes.
do they? That's so funny.
You know what? It's honestly not that far of a drive.
No, it's probably like what?
13 hours.
Okay.
I mean, that's a long drive when it could probably be a 6-hour flight.
Well,
If you think about, you probably have to go from Ironwood to Chicago and Chicago to Nashville.
yeah. But we do have a little plane that goes to Chicago. So we'll
And
make it happen.
Yes, we will.
Where
Oh, I was right. It's Sheboygan.
Sheboygan.
Sheboygan,
That is
Michigan, on the
that
water.
Sheboygan. Huh.
And
Um,
my geographic map on my hand was very accurate, actually. The mitt.
it's funny because those of us from the UP are like the mitten, but then we bring out the second hand because
You're in the rabbit.
we're in like the second hand. We're on the peninsula.
See, to me, where the part of Michigan that you live in looks like a rabbit that's running.
Oh my gosh, I've never thought about it like that. That's really funny.
And you're in the nose of the rabbit.
Oh, the bunny nose.
You're in the bunny nose of Michigan. At least you're not in the bunny tail. Like, this is very clearly a bunny to me. I don't know why this has not been stated in history books and geography books.
I want to see who is in the bunny tail. Oh my gosh, yes, it's a bunny. That's so cute. Where is the bunny tail? Oh.
Paradise, Michigan. You know what? That bunny tail looks beautiful from above, though. If you zoom in.
Where is it? I'm looking at
There's quite literally nothing but sand on the bunny tail.
Yeah.
There's a small area that there are 5 houses and a grocery store.
How are you seeing this? Where are you? Like, do you have Google Maps or?
Yeah, girl, I'm just really far zoomed in on satellite view.
Okay. I'm not that fancy.
And if you look into the water, there's like, you can see fish swimming even.
Wow.
Google Maps has
Yeah,
really stepped up their game.
Michigan is gorgeous. I wanted to ask a couple more questions though about your teaching.
I have a couple more answers.
Were there any more questions that were good? I love hearing.
Other than just like they had really good questions as far as they knew their stuff, so they weren't asking the questions that like were stumping me because they
Okay.
knew how to ask the questions.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like,
They weren't like, huh? Yeah, because it
like
wasn't
why
like.
does pH matter? That was not a question. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just like, oh, we're gonna use the aftercolor shampoo and balsam because it has the lower pH and it makes it balance. It balances out the pH.
So yeah, that makes sense.
So
Yep.
like they were just really knowledgeable.
It didn't
And
feel like they were trying to stump you because sometimes
right,
they're like,
which that happens a lot whenever a younger educator goes into a salon of seasoned stylists.
yeah.
So that's sometimes can be tough.
Yeah.
I will say we all three of us, the two stylists and me, suffer from ADHD. And so we were running in circles sometimes, but we always came back. We always came back. And because it was such a small group, we were able to I did the first portion of the morning with all of the information. And then we took a lunch break. And during our lunch break, I broke out a mannequin and they worked on the mannequin while I went over the next topic.
Oh, perfect.
And they said that was a lot of fun because they didn't have to sit and watch me do a mannequin, or they didn't have to just sit and listen to me talk
They
the
were
whole
able to
time.
in color.
Right.
What did you have them do? Like what technique or what color did you have them use?
So I did my Let's Get Deep placement because
Oh, the
it's,
one you're live?
yeah, my Facebook Live. I did that placement and they chose to do one side with our reds and the other side as like a natural brunette with the same technique.
Okay.
So they did a permanent color, a semi color, and a lightening or lifting agent. So one of them used the lifting colors and the other ones used Freedom Blonde.
Okay. Like the high lifts?
Yep. And then we used
Wait, the lifts in color? So like the 666 or like the
yeah, the
666?
667.
Oh, fun.
Yeah,
Yay.
so they balayaged with it.
Oh,
So
fun.
not only did they get to mix the color, we incorporated bond fusion into that. So they got to learn the mixing ratios and stuff of bond fusion by
Oh.
mixing it themselves.
So they literally got everything. That's perfect.
Yeah, it was an amazing class. So I am so grateful and I'm so thankful to be like teaching again.
Oh, that's so good. Well, I'm so happy for you. I'm excited for the day that I can get back out there. It's just I think things are just moving really slow. So I mean I get it. Like the Advanced Academy just opened, which by the way, if you're listening to this and you're a stylist, you should check it out and consider going to the Advanced Academy because it's like you get the whole experience. You're there in the salon. You feel like you're at work, only you're in this beautiful,
I mean,
super
it is
amazing,
stunning, isn't it?
swanky place. So you're like, yeah, it's a whole salon setup, and it's not like go for the day and then done. It's like,
It's a
no, you're
2-day.
yeah, it feels like hair camp, kind of like where you're going and it's like a whole experience and you get to know the other people who are in the class with you and you build relationships from all over the country. It's just like a really cool experience. So
It
Advanced
really
Academy
is.
is open
And
and
we'll
those,
link the tickets below.
yeah, those educate, you guys heard a little bit about what it's like to have an educator come to your salon, which is like what Hunter and I would do. But the Advanced Academy is where you go and they teach you. And these educators are really good. And they've been working a long time on perfecting that class. So
Yes.
it's polished and perfect and totally catered towards the learner, which it all is, but it's kind of fun to be in a new environment.
It is. And you get to go to Atlanta and Buckhead, and it's just a happening place. It's really fun to like go out to eat with your friends or the friends that you make in the class. I
Mhm.
remember, did you go to Color Cert?
No, so it was really like sweet. When I went through the class, I won like a free ticket to any advanced class that I wanted to go to. And I was going to do the color cert. I mean, there's so many options that I like couldn't choose. And and then like the year after didn't work because of like personal things. And then it was the pandemic. So I hope I can still use that. I hope that I can still go to an advanced class and I would like to do that. But I mean, my experience with Kuhn was like right before everything went down.
Okay. Well, so Color Cert is where I met Amber Wishart,
Oh,
who is
okay.
going to be our guest next week. And I we went to the class, and after the class, where the hotels are, and you know what I'm talking about, there's like a little courtyard at the courtyard.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And that's kind of just where everyone went and sat and hung out and studied. And so like the friendship, like we all just studied together, and none of us knew each other. We were just there for the same reason, studying the same things, taking the same test. And it was so much fun to meet all these new people and build all these friendships. And I mean, Amber and I talk very frequently on social media and like through text and stuff. So I think it's really cool to have made that friendship just by going to a class.
Yes. She is so sweet and I'm super excited to talk with her next week. Um cool. Well, I feel like today's episode we did a lot of bantering, but we talked a lot about education and what it's like to be an educator and teach a class. And so I guess this one could be the one about being an educator.
Or just the one with the banter, honestly, because we were all over the place. But
I know.
I think it was fun. I think people are going to really enjoy the episode. Do
Mm-hmm.
we have a hair myth, or did we forget
Like we did last week. We forgot
like we
last.
did last week? I know.
What is it?
Okay. And this is not necessarily a hair myth. It's kind of like a true or false hair fact. So true or false, the only thing in the human body that grows faster than hair is bone marrow. True or false? The only thing in the human body that grows faster than hair is bone marrow.
I'm gonna say true.
It is true. The hair on your head grows about 6 inches a year, and the only thing in the human body that grows faster is bone marrow.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Here's a couple. I have a couple little fun facts about hair. Males grow hair faster than females due to testosterone, and you lose between 50 to 100 strands of hair each day.
Yeah. I have a I always remind people that when they are freaking out because
About
they're like,
losing hair.
I'm like, don't worry, especially if you have long hair, it looks like a lot. Like
It
it
does.
whole clump of hair that you take out in the shower, it looks like a lot.
Or if you
I
have curly hair
yes, because it
and
all
you're
comes
not
up.
brushing.
Yeah. I have a client who came and she was like, yeah, so I counted all the hairs that I lost in the shower. And you're right. It was under 100. I'm like, okay, good. Do you have peace of mind now? And she's like, yes. I'm like, okay, good. That's normal.
I mean, that's another level of concern.
But for her, that's what she had to do in order to like have peace of mind. Totally get, because it's startling when you see this big glob of hair. But
Yeah,
to know it's normal makes you a little feel
that
better.
is true. Well, you guys, thanks for listening to us banter this week. If you're listening on your favorite podcasting app, leave us a 5-star review. A lot of you guys already have, but if you leave a 5-star review, make sure to let us know what you love about the podcast, or maybe even give us ideas on what episodes to do next. We're having a really great time. This is, Anna, can you believe that this is our 15th episode?
No, it seems like just yesterday we started, and I think that's because we both are having a lot of fun, and we hope you guys are having fun listening to us banter, and we just appreciate it. We'd love to include more of you guys into our banter. So like Hunter said, if you have an idea,
let us know. And if you want to be a guest on our podcast, send us a DM on Instagram, because we are all up in those DMs, honey. Speaking of Instagram, if you want to follow me on my social media journey, it is at HairXHunter on all the things. I also now have a website where you can find our podcast. You can find all of my affiliate links to all of my different ambassadorships. It is www.hairxhunter.com. Our podcast Instagram, if you'd like to follow that, is at Breakroom Banter Pod, and the lovely Miss Anna's Instagram handle is
Anna. Oh my gosh, I need to look.
It is at Anna.shr8hair.
Yes. Hunter got it down. You caught me off guard. I don't know why, but every single week I have to look.
I know I always have to edit out the little silence clip between that I have it written down right here in front of me.
Thanks, Hunter. Why do you even ask me if you know?
Hey, I just want you to say a couple more words for the people at the end of the podcast episode.
And also maybe by saying it every single week, I'll be able to memorize it.
Exactly. And then you'll tell more people to follow you.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Well, you guys, this has been another episode of Breakroom Banter. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.